Hi, this is the first video in a series of Java tutorial videos that I'm doing. The reason I'm doing these videos is because most of the videos on YouTube just show you a topic and then explain how to use it in a useful way. Well, that's how these tutorials are going to start off, but as we move on, I'll show you how to use these topics in a useful way to make meaningful applications. So the first thing I'm going to show you is variables. So variables, there's three variables that I'm going to show you today. Ints and doubles and strings. So let's start with ints. So ints are used to store whole numbers without a decimal point. So, and now to initialize a variable, you have, or declare a variable, you have to give it what type it is, you have to give it a name and a value. So it's an int type and its name is I and it's equal to 5. So, and then you end that statement with a semicolon. And so to print this value out on the screen, you have to do system dot out dot print print, and then you give it some brackets, and then you put I inside of there. Oh. Okay. Okay. So I fixed everything up there. Okay, so then now as you can see, it will print out the value 5. So we can also we can also do math with these. So we can do int I equals I plus 5. So we'll get the value 10 on the screen. To 10. So we're saying I equals itself plus 5 more things. And now there's also some other variables that I will show you. So remember how I said ints cannot store numbers with a decimal point? Well, doubles can do that. So we declare what it's, in order to declare it, we have to give it a type, so it's a double type, and its name is D, and it's equal to 3.4, and then a semicolon. Oh, actually, let's change this name to I, since I already have that in the system to print out. So now that will print out 3.14 onto the screen. And now, if we just wanted to print out the number 3, something that you might notice is that it will print 3 with a decimal point. That's because it's a double. And then the next thing I will show you is a string. Now strings are used to store like letters and sentences and stuff like that in. So string in order to, it's the same as the other ones, but to set it equal to something, to set it equal to like a character or a sentence or something, you have to have the sentence or characters inside of the quotation marks. So if we write pi in there, for instance, and we compile it, and we run it, it will print out the word pi. And also one more thing, you can declare and initialize it on different lines. So this is declaring it, so what type it is and its name, that's declaring it. and then you can what's called initializing it on another line. So you could be I is equal to pi, and then remember to give it a semicolon, and so it will, and then if we run that, it'll print out pi again. But another thing to note, if we don't initialize it, it'll say a variable might not have been initialized, and it won't compile, and you won't be able to run it. So yeah. And also another thing, if you leave out a semicolon, that's the error that you'll get. So if you see this down here, that is what you're missing, a semicolon somewhere. That's it for variables. There's other variables, there's long, shorts, and stuff, but we won't be using them. Or well, we might use them, but not until a lot later. So next time I'll be showing you math operators and stuff, and also the IDE that I'm using, and that stands for Integrated Development Software, is BlueJ, and you may have heard of Eclipse, but I don't like Eclipse because it has a lot of bells and whistles that aren't really necessary, and especially for people who are just beginning, it actually will probably make it a lot more complicated, because you might mess up one of your settings and not know how to fix it. But BlueJ, it's a lot easier to use, so I'll put a link in the description to the BlueJ website, and you can go download the software from there. So BlueJ is really easy to use, and I'll make a tutorial on how to set up classes and stuff too in BlueJ. So that's all. Bye.